All right. The Cincinnati Bengals went into week number 6, the only undefeated team in the National Football League. They're playing another surprise team, the New York Jets. I mean, Sam Weish against Joe Walton, perhaps the game of the year to date in the AFC. A lot of people thought this could never happen, but those guys certainly are having the last laugh. Weish looking to become 6-0, first time since '75. The Bengals have done that. Bud Carson on the right, Joe Walton, the head coach of the Jets, on the left, wanting their team to play good defense, but they wanted Kenny O'Brien to play better. He let the ball slip away, but favors returned by Jim Breach, who had this field goal blocked by Kyle Clifton. Then, on a seemingly easy extra point, Breach put excitement back into that play by doinking it off the left upright. Then, on another extra point, it's blocked. Jim was into the breach today, no question about that. Boomer Esiason, tough day for him at the start. First play of the game, Lions and Mercereau combined on a safety, 2-0 Jets. Next offensive play in the first quarter, Stanley Wilson, Troy Benson will pick it up, and that will set up a Jets touchdown by Roger Vick. But then Boomer got it going. After they settled down, look at Boomer, how smooth he is to Eddie Brown. 27 yards. Eddie caught 5 on the day for 103 and 2 touchdowns. Then later in the first quarter, Boomer to Eddie Brown again. 60 yards. He could go all the way. He does. At this point, it was a 9-6 ball game. And when you have time, no wonder the Bengal is roaring. And, Tommy, Boomer has all sorts of time when they get started.
Boomer has an offensive line that includes some guys that they're pretty big. They tend to get the job done.
Plus, occasionally they kept guys like Ickey Woods into double team. Gastineau down. Esiason to Tim McGee. The feed in 1, 2. Well, you know what? They took about 10 minutes to look at the replays after scoring a touchdown. We saw it in, what, about 20 seconds?
Took about 20 seconds.
But so the crowd had to wait 10 minutes, and the next play, Boomer threw another one to Eddie Brown, which did count, 7 yards. Bengals lead at 12-9. Ken O'Brien could not get it going, really. He was sacked 4 times. This one by Jason Buck, who's played so very well. O'Brien throwing for only 151 yards today. With the game tied at 12 in the second quarter, look at Boomer for Tim McGee. I mean, these passes are picture perfect. 38 yards, 19-12 Bengals. Boomer only threw it 20 times. Bengals led by 7 at the half. Jets coming back in the third quarter. After a fumble recovery, O'Brien to Al Toon. Runs a long way to get in the end zone, but it works. 11 yards, touchdown. We're tied at 19. Third quarter, the Bengals come right back. Ickey Woods breaks a tackle and a 5-yard touchdown. The Bengals lead at 26-19. Then the Bengals put it away on the ground. Ickey Woods, look at this run. Threw a couple tacklers into the end zone. Woods' first 100-yard day and then some. The rookie out of UNLV, 139 yards rushing, a pair of touchdowns. And then how about defense, David Fulcher?
Biggest DB in the league, had to stretch that big frame out to knock that one away.
The safeties are playing well, the corners are playing well, and the Bengals went on to roll. Give the Jets jet lag. 36-19. First time the Bengals have been 6-0 since '75. Paul Brown's last year as a coach, they went at the wild card. At any rate, after last year compared to this year, Boomer Esiason, what about it?
The team's a year older, you know. I mean, we experienced all the bad feelings last year. You know, if you could deal with anything like we did last year, I mean, this is a piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Well, that's funny. We wouldn't have heard that last year. Tommy, no, Brooks didn't play. Wilson carried 2 times for 1 yard, and the Bengals are winning big anyway.
Yeah, they made every mistake they made last year, and they made it in the first half today. The thing is they have a new attitude. That's what they talked about this week. They're playing as a team, no special teams, no defense, no offense, one team. They made up those mistakes, and it didn't hurt to have a guy like Ickey Woods.
Axe. We saw on game day the T-shirts, Axe the Axe. Tell you what, you said they'd have to vote you in for playoff shares. You're a great inspiration, pal.
Well, if the Bengals sent me a piece of cake, I'm afraid it would still have a file in it, and I wouldn't know about it. But I did want to say, you know, one thing, the Bengals are among the first to testify that people on this show don't necessarily pass IQ tests. Therefore, when we went out to Cincinnati, Tommy was smart enough. He went to Bob Trumpy's radio show, and Trump brought up a very good point. He was talking to a local character named Too Sweet who calls in almost every night, and he said, they're talking all about emotion and this and that. He says, you know, it also helps to have cornerbacks who can cover, running backs who can kill the clock like Ickey Woods, and that's the truth. This is a good team. They got players who can play and a coach who can coach. Let me get that in.
Make a note. Early October 1988, a coach who can coach, Pete Axtell. When we return, we will be back to show you the Skins and the Cowboys. We'll show you how Buffalo did against the Colts and everything else in week number 6. Stay with us. Primetime is rolling along.